Good evening, Reds. This is Stephen Howson. This is Full Time Devils, and this is not tomorrow's transfers today. This is just letting you know a bit of an update on what's going on with Alexis Sanchez at Manchester United. So what is going on with Alexis Sanchez at Manchester United? Looks like the deal is going to be a straight swap for Henrikh Mkhitaryan, with Alexis Sanchez coming this way for Manchester United. And when you think about it, I think Manchester United have got an absolutely fantastic deal. And I think the player aside, we're obviously getting a fantastic footballer, but being able to get someone who it's quite obvious Jose Mourinho doesn't fancy off the wage bill, and also using them as mate way for a transfer. We've essentially got a free transfer here with a player going the other way and not having to worry about their wages. I think it's a bit of a masterstroke, and I actually think that United and Arsenal benefit from this. Arsenal get a player valued at between 25 and 30, maybe even £40 million in Mkhitaryan. And Manchester United get a very similar one. Like, if Alexis Sanchez had 18 months on his contract instead of 6, you would be looking at 70, 80, 90 million for him, wouldn't you? So I think Manchester United's business in improving the squad here has probably rectified one of the mistakes that we made in the summer by not managing to get either Perisic or Griezmann or both over the line. So the current situation as it stands then is, I believe Alexis Sanchez is in Manchester. He landed in a private jet a few hours ago, and I'm not sure if he'll be undertaking his medical right now. I guess it's possible. I've not really heard any reports on that. He might be doing his medical report tomorrow. Either way, it looks like the deal will be officially concluded and announced within the next couple of days, because Mkhitaryan and Alexis Sanchez are not EU citizens. There is a little bit of paperwork messing around that needs to happen for those to be announced properly. I see a lot of people talking about the stock exchange and the role that plays in with Manchester United's announcements of deals, why we don't maybe announce on a Sunday. There's no reason why United can't announce on a Sunday. I think one of the reasons might be staffing in the media department at the club. I think the main reason isn't to do with the stock exchange. The stock exchange, all you have to do is inform them at the earliest opportunity. Otherwise, nothing could happen of an evening, could it, with football clubs? So I think that I think this is a good thing for Manchester United. I think this is an excellent player. The medical and the contract are yet to be concluded in the official announcement, but by the sounds of things, the deal is all but done. This has been on the cards since Friday or Saturday last week, so a little over a week this has been bubbling on. There didn't seem to be much of a hold-up, and I have to admit, a week ago, last Thursday when I was doing my podcast, the notion of a swap deal for Mkhitaryan and Sanchez seemed completely ridiculous. Swap deals generally don't happen in the modern era, but I actually think because of the crazy inflated transfer fees that you're seeing, when the situation suits a little bit like this, I think that swap deals might happen a little bit more frequent than they have. The crazy inflation of the transfer market has seen that. So I do think that you might see swap deals a little bit more often. I think this really suits, like I said, both clubs. And Alexis Sanchez, I think he's going to be an absolutely fantastic player for Manchester United. So we're going to be switching our focus probably over the next week, especially on Full Time Devils, and especially tomorrow. And hopefully we'll be live as soon as we get the official announcement. And we'll be discussing things like where he's going to play, what sort of role he's going to take in the team, and all those good things. My personal belief is that he's probably going to be played, at least at first, on the left-hand side, similar to where he's been playing for Arsenal, despite the form of Anthony Martial, because I think Jose Mourinho's got a little bit of reservations still about the defensive aspects of Tony Martial's game. I would like to see him on the right-hand side, forming an attack with Martial and Lukaku. I think that's an absolutely lethal attack that you can put with any team in the world. I just don't think he's going to play it yet. As much as I would like to see it, I just don't think he's going to play it. I've just seen a comment here. Alexis Sanchez will go shit United, like United players. Like all players have, essentially, since Fergie left. That all players have. Listen. Paul Pogba got into the World 11 2 years ago, and his performance last year was better than his performance when he got into the World 11. But the narrative of the press was that he didn't have a good season. The expectation was higher because of this transfer fee, so he was nowhere near the World 11. This year he's gone even better, and he's had the best season he's ever had as a football player, and he'll still be nowhere near the 11. It doesn't matter what you think about him. the fact is that these players are doing stuff, and I'm happy for them. Lukaku. People are talking about Lukaku like he's not doing anything. He's contributing with goals and assists all over the place. His overall gameplay is improving no end. The fact that you've got Lukaku in there, pulling defenders left and right, is going to be an asset for the likes of Sanchez and Martial to be running in behind. I am very excited for what our attack means. I only think that we need to probably find somebody who can play as a number 8 or buy somebody who can play as a number 8. I think it's nice to pick up a signing like this in January because it's quite rare, isn't it? We picked up Juan Mata in not the same circumstances, I guess. He was a little bit more outcast at Chelsea at the time. But I think this is a player of that sort of quality, if not better, that we're picking up for an absolute pittance, really. Essentially free. Let's see what you guys are saying in the comments. Sahil says, which midfielder should we go for in the summer to complete our team? There's no names that really stand out to me, but I'm looking for... I don't think we'd get Cruz, but I'm looking for someone who can control a game a little bit like Cruz. Someone who's just going to take responsibility of the ball and look after the tempo of a game for Manchester United. Let Matic be the destroyer. Let Matic be the guy that protects that back four. Let Pogba be the creator. But find someone who's got that Carrick-style metronomic passing that can just keep a game going. Someone who can add a little bit going backwards. Someone who can add a little bit going forwards. But most important asset, just keeping the passing flowing and bring it from defence and take it forward with it. Nainggolan or Vidal. I would want someone with a little bit more refined passing, I think, than those two. But yes, those two are the all-action player that really would free up Paul Pogba and allow everyone to be doing what they're doing. Have I seen the new Alexis chant? Yes, normally the chants that you see going around on Twitter and stuff like that make me want to headbutt walls, but the Alexis Sanchez one does seem like quite a catchy one. I like it. McTominay is a possible number 8. I'm not sure McTominay is going to have the quality that we require, if I'm being completely brutally honest with you guys. Champions League with Sanchez, says your creepy uncle. I actually think what Sanchez brings to Manchester United, for the Champions League especially, because I think we're all in agreement and say that the league is more than likely kaput for Manchester United at the moment. So what Sanchez is going to bring is probably going to be predominantly be in the Champions League, which everyone's sitting there, no one's sitting here, I'm not sitting here saying Manchester United are going to win this Champions League. And none of you guys would be buying it if I said that anyway. But what I think that you got with Sanchez is, look, if defence wins you titles, although maybe not this year we say, attack certainly wins you trophies. Attack can win you cups. Manchester United have got an attack that scores goals. If you look at the goals that's been spread out amongst Jesse Lingard, Pogba himself, Lukaku, Tony Martial, and what we're going to get from Sanchez, we can find a way to score goals in any game. Now, over 2 legs, that's pretty deadly. Over 2 legs, when Jose Mourinho is able to tactically implement a plan to get us through to the next round, I don't care how many buses we have to park, I don't know how many new wheels we have to buy for buses, Jose Mourinho is the man to do that over 2 legs. Proved that last year in the Europa League. I think what he offers us is someone that can hit those counter-attacks. Now, let's say we draw Paris. You don't expect us to go for Paris. I wouldn't expect us to go for Paris. No one's going to expect Manchester United to try and just play Paris off the park, or Barcelona, or Bayern Munich, or any of those sort of teams. But we can certainly try and hit them on the counter-attack. As long as Paul Pogba's playing and he's got 2-3 options as soon as the ball comes to him, and he's got Sanchez on one side and Martial on the other, and maybe Lukaku pulling defenders around in the middle, we're hitting balls into the channels behind that defence, those lads are going to score goals. And if you can score goals in knockout competitions, you can go far. And I think Manchester United should really start to focus, because the only way we can have... There's acceptable levels of performance in a season. People say, was it a good season, was it a bad season? I don't think it's as binary as good or bad. I think there's levels. Last season was more than acceptable season, and we still didn't have a parade. We won 2 trophies and went, cool, see you next season. Laters. Most clubs would have a parade and parties and all sorts of stuff. Most clubs. Apart from Manchester United. We won 2 trophies last season and just went, sound. See you in a bit. The only way Manchester United could have a parade this year would be to win the Premier League again. The only other way for us to have a parade this year would be to win the Champions League again. That would be the measure of a truly great season. And actually, how mint would it be to shut everybody up if we managed to go and do that? Now, I'm not saying completely focus on the Champions League and let our league form slip in a fashion that we did last season. The Champions League games are infrequent enough that we can still finish inside the top 2, I think, quite comfortably, without resorting to doing that. But when the Champions League games come forward, we have to put everything into them and we have to go for it. Can we get past Sevilla? Yes. Can we get past 80% of the teams that we're drawn against in the next round? Pretty confident. No matter who we get, we'll get through. Which leaves us then in the semi-finals. Semi-finals, you're looking at teams that might be pushing for the league in domestic football. Probably unlikely because most of the major leagues do actually look like they've been sewn up already. But you don't know what the circumstances those teams are coming to you in. And if they're in a bit of a dogfight domestically, and you're not, that could be beneficial for you going into those games. They're a few months off, so we can't get too excited about them right now. But I back Jose Mourinho in a semi-final against almost anybody. I really do. I think he's got the tactics to be able to push his team through into the next round. Will it be pretty? Probably not. Will it be the most poetry-ridden football you've ever seen? Probably not. But if Jose Mourinho makes it 4 gold stars on Manchester United's shirt this year, would you give a shit? Because I wouldn't. If you go back and look at some of our wins, actually, the Chelsea win in 2008, we probably deserve to lose that final. The Bayern Munich final in 1999, we definitely deserve to lose that final. But does anyone think about that? They go, nah, Manchester United was European and world champions. Doesn't matter. Now, like I said, I'm not getting carried away. I'm not saying that we're going to do that. What I'm saying is we have got a manager to do that. And in buying Alexis Sanchez, we've got another option. Manchester United's attack is becoming scary. And I think we've got the tools to be able to do it. We just have to turn up and do it now. What about the ESPN's report that we've offered a contract to Vidal, says Todo. I haven't seen that. Please send me a link and I'll take a look. I'm getting excited. Well, do you know what? I think I'm allowed to get excited. How about that? United sign a world-class player. I'm allowed to get excited, I think. Do I think Rashford and Lingard will still get minutes? Yes. Mino Raiola is a money-eating pig. In a slight defence of Mino Raiola, he's looking after his client. If his client's perception or even actuality of his value falls, then he's not doing his job as an agent. The agent is there to advance the career of his clients. I can't blame him for doing what he's done. I can't. It's as simple as that. Do I think this deal will annoy Arsenal more than the RVP deal? I don't think so. I don't think it will, because I think that Van Persie coming and literally pushing us over the line to win the league when Arsenal couldn't win a league was amazing. I don't think Sanchez is going to come and win the league at United this year, unfortunately. Maybe if he wins it next year, there's a chance. I'm just not sure on that one, to be honest. I wonder what Sanchez thinks about coming up against Tuanzebe in training. I think that's why we might be getting him loaned out. I think we had to actually write to Sanchez's mum to get Tuanzebe's mum to get permission to let him out of Tuanzebe's pocket so the deal could happen, actually. Maybe Sanchez is the tip of a diamond with Martial and Lukaku ahead of him. I don't think any formations off the table. As we saw in the summer and as we've seen this season, Jose Mourinho is definitely willing to experiment with different formations. So I wouldn't be shocked to see if we do switch up to a different formation, playing Sanchez off Lukaku or something along those lines. We will have to see. Someone saying Ronnie back now, complete. Why would we sign him when he scored like less goals than Lingard has this season? Don't think so. Would I love seeing Evra back at OT? I don't think Evra's going to come back to OT, to be honest. And I'm not sure he starts ahead of Luke Shaw at the moment. But yes, I think this has suitably boiled plenty of Arsenal fans pissed. They was absolutely certain that he's not coming to Manchester United this time tomorrow. I fully expect it to have been announced. But yeah, as it stands, the deal is virtually confirmed. Wenger essentially said as much in his press conference The players are in for medicals today. Whether they are completed, we will find out in the morning, I guess. But thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow with the transfer review, where I'm definitely sure we'll be touching on what's going on with Sanchez. Hopefully an official announcement, and if not, 11 o'clock tomorrow night. Tomorrow's transfers today. We'll probably more than likely be announcing it then, if not during the day. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to get us on notifications so you don't miss out on anything. And if you go and check the notification setting as well, the little bell next to the subscribe button down below, you'll see that YouTube's been a sneaky little bitch and it started putting occasional or off or all. So click the bell, put it on all, make sure you've got notifications every time Full Time Devils goes live, and we will see you in the next one. Laters.